Bitcoin as an e-commerce solution is sometimes overshadowed by Bitcoin as a political football, but today we're going to have a conversation about actually buying things with Bitcoin. Today I'm joined by Michael Dunworth, co-founder and CEO, and Yanni Gianeros, co-founder and COO of SnapCard, which is a startup out of the Boost incubator that lets you buy anything online using Bitcoin. Gentlemen, how you doing today?
Good. Thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
Bitcoin is skyrocketing in value, and it seems like it's getting easier all the time to spend it. And you have a project that kind of fits into that second category, making Bitcoin easier to spend. Can you tell me what you're doing with SnapCard?
Yeah, so basically SnapCard is an online service that allows you to shop on any website using your Bitcoin. So we don't require merchant side integration. Users can use it on big websites like Walmart, Amazon, eBay, Best Buy, Target, all those huge websites. We facilitate purchases for the users to those websites.
Okay, so now we have a sponsor that does gift cards, that sells gift cards for Bitcoin through an application. We have a sponsor that has like a gift registry with Amazon where you make a wish list and then somebody buys that from you. There are a bunch of ways that people are kind of going about trying to solve this problem. How are you solving this problem? Is this a browser plugin, or are you actually, you said you're not requiring merchant side integration. How does that work?
Yeah, so what we've done just a JavaScript bookmarklet that it installs on any browser, so it's there's no limitations on browser compatibility. And all it does is you can shop normally and just hit the SnapCard button in your bookmarklet, and it'll bring up and it'll ask you to confirm the purchase. And then that gets added to your account and it gets processed on our server side. And you can just shop normally. So there's no loopholes or any different situations that you've got to go through. We process everything for you and ship it to you. Basically, you can just shop like normal, but you've just got a browser-based bookmarklet.
So this is another one of those kind of stopgap solutions where, because merchants can't be bothered to accept Bitcoin, this is a way that lets you spend Bitcoin. So it kind of sounds like what you're doing is actually similar to the old BitSpend project, which was a project essentially where people would find something that they wanted to buy and then copy the URL of the item that they wanted to buy and then send it in an email to this service BitSpend, and then they would spend US dollars and would send you an invoice for the Bitcoin. Are you doing something similar to that, but automated?
Yeah, I suppose that's probably a really good analogy. BitSpend did some really great things, and they had such a really good support from the community. And we've been trying to do a really good service like they had. So we are trying to get that support from the Bitcoin community. We are a stopgap solution, but we feel that stopgap solutions, we obviously see the disadvantage for stopgap solutions. But in the long term, it is a really good way for us to help create awareness of Bitcoin. So, if we're doing significant amount of volume on websites, that gives those websites actual data to understand how much, potential. If we're doing, let's say $20,000 in transactions a day on Amazon or Newegg, having that metric to say to Newegg, hey, there's $20,000 worth of purchases going through our account, that is a really good point of sale, I suppose, or a way to sell to those companies to get on board with Bitcoin and integrate it natively.
So you're in the winter session at the Boost VC program, right?
Yeah, that's right. We're based in San Mateo, just on the peninsula in California.
So this is a solution that's available now if people want to try it. So generally there are some fees associated with this relative to the price you would pay if you were just paying in dollars. Can you talk about the fee structure at all?
Yeah, so the fees associated with our service, it was initially a 2% fee, but we've dropped that down to 1% as of January 2014. That's said to be going through January, but we're going to wait and see how that goes and if that continues and gets extended. Yeah, so at the moment it's a 1% fee for your purchases to go through our website. So if you want to use our service, you don't have to be a US citizen. We service people in over 30 different countries, ranging from Ireland, UK, America, Australia, all across Europe. And we charge 1%, which is probably the most competitive fee structure you'll find out there for any services like that. We've got full customer support, which is probably one of the things we pride ourselves on most. We know that, through the Bitcoin community, people are always very conscious because there is no chargebacks. having that consumer confidence, knowing that there's someone there at the company that they're talking to, that's one of the things we put the most pride in. So there's always, a really strong support team behind you if you're having any problems with orders. And that's probably one of our things we pride ourselves on most, giving you, the consumer, the confidence to use us.
So now, I don't think that you guys are making the claim to have invented this business model. It seems like this is an advantageous thing for you guys to do now. But I'm wondering, in the past with like BitSpend, they were doing good business and it seemed like the business was going quite well, but then they had a problem with their bank because the bank said, okay, well, you have all of this money coming into your account because they were selling Bitcoin for dollars so that they could then fund the business that they were doing. And the bank said to them, well, we don't know where this money is coming from, so we can't make sure that it's not coming from illegal sources, so therefore you can't have an account here. I assume that this has been something you've thought about before. Can you share with me your journey on that?
Yeah, definitely. That was one of the big sort of red flags when we initially started thinking about this. But fortunately, we've been banking with Wells Fargo, and they have been really accommodating with us. Obviously, they see all our transactions where they come from, whether it's Coinbase payouts or BitPay. And so far, we try and keep our relationship really transparent with them. And there's been no flags raised from their end or any complaints. So if we do have any situations, though, the users will be the first ones to know about it.
BitSpend went away for a variety of reasons. Can you kind of give us some insight on why your service isn't going to have that happen to it?
We always process the orders immediately. So any of the users' funds that are on hand, we don't actually receive those. Everything we buy is actually purchased upfront by us as the company, and then we're reimbursed by the user. So in the event, the unlikely event that a bank account is frozen, which we have an exceptional relationship with our bank, we're very transparent about everything we do, which has so far been fantastic. We've been working closely with them. But in the event that, an account got frozen, there'd never be a problem with the users not receiving refund, anything like that, because that account, every purchase is made instantly. So the only people who would miss out on that would be us getting our own money frozen instead of the users actually not getting their products, because when the users pay us, we buy the products with our own money, and then we get the payment from the users, 24 hours later or however long it takes to process. So there's sort of that safety there for the users to know that once they've actually placed an order, we have already ordered the product immediately for them. So there's no risk of them having funds frozen or anything like that. So we don't want that to happen, but that's just the process we use.
But if it does, it seems like you have something in place.
Exactly. So we're just trying to be as precautious as possible, because we know users really get a lot of use out of this service and services like this. So we need to make sure we keep it as honest as possible, and we stay around as long as possible to make sure that everyone benefits from it. So that's why we're being very upfront and very straightforward with all our relationships with the banks and with our users as well, trying to keep everything as transparent as possible.
We've been working with the banks closely and the credit card companies, because we use different sources as well, like for different transactions, and we have been working with them closely. It's full transparency between us and our business model and our bank, Wells Fargo, and there's full transparency between our credit cards that we do use. So there hasn't been an issue so far. I mean, we are going through a lot of transactions per day and the transactional volume. So we've had conversations in the past, where are these transactions coming from, and it hasn't been an issue. So everything's been going smooth for us so far. So we're just excited, we're extremely excited to come up to the end of this boost program and to just get out there.
People are using this system. What are some examples? Like, what's the biggest purchase that somebody has made with Bitcoin through your service to date?
Yeah, that's actually a funny question, because the smallest purchase someone has made was for 2 cents, and it was a SIM card on Amazon. And obviously from our side, we thought that was pretty funny, seeing someone buy something for 2 cents. But the largest product, we've had someone buy a $65,000 Mercedes-Benz. So that was really cool to be part of that. And the user was just absolutely over the moon. They were thrilled. So we've now got a really good relationship with that user, obviously, from working together on buying such a large item. And it was just great seeing them, being able to use their Bitcoin to literally buy almost anything. That's what we aim to be able to do. And it's cool being able to get them these really large items.
So who was the other party on the, if you don't mind my asking, who was the other party on this $65,000 transaction? Was this someone just offering it for sale somewhere on the internet, or did you actually work with a dealership?
So originally, they reached out to us on the internet. They'd been a client of ours who, they bought a bunch of stuff online. And then from that, they made a request if they could buy this car from a dealership in Texas. And we called up the dealership and we said, hey, we'd like to do business and we'd like to get one of our users a car. Is it possible to work together? And the dealership was very accommodating and fantastic throughout the whole process. So, obviously it was something very exciting for us because, we are a new startup. We're still in the incubator, and having something like that to our name is really gives us good credibility, and it was great to do. So we're really happy with that.
Yeah, sounds very cool. So what's next kind of on the plan for SnapCard?
Probably one of the largest requests that we get, which we have just had a huge breakthrough, and we're going to make a big announcement over the next probably the next 2 weeks, is going to be Canada. We'll be offering our services to Canada. We get so many requests for that. Being able to accommodate that, like the Canadian people have been so patient with us. So we just can't wait to release that to them. We've also got some very big announcements coming up with merchant site integration, which will be both native integration into people's websites and offering our services exclusively to some bigger brand websites that people will probably be familiar with. So there is a lot on the horizon. We have our demo day on February the 11th, which is the end of the incubator program. We're just trying to get in, some great results and really show our brand and name to be quite reputable by that time. So we're working 1,000 hours a day trying to get it done, but it's good. It's good.
Yeah, it's very exciting. It's been a long trek, but
yeah, we're getting there finally.
Yeah, it's been good.
In what you're doing, what has been the greatest barrier to entry that you have overcome, and what do you feel like retains your hold on this?
Yeah, that's actually a very, very good question. And I think, the question that answer is for the whole Bitcoin community. I mean, it's just trust, right? It's like, how can people trust us to take this money and not just run, right? That's essentially what Bitcoin companies have been kind of known to do. So trust is the biggest barrier to entry, and then having good customer support, which we do provide, having like a good investors backing us is something that is going for us and stuff like that. So trust would be the biggest thing.
Michael and Yanni, if someone wants to learn more about SnapCard, where can they go to find that out?
Yeah, they can jump online. You can go to www.joinsnapcard.com. We couldn't afford the name snapcard.com, so we put it as joinsnapcard.com. So you can jump online and check it out. We've got live chat there as well. You can always get support, so feel free to reach out to us.
Thank you so much. We're very excited.
We appreciate the time, Adam.
Michael and Yanni, thank you very much for your time. Have a great one.
Purse.io is a gift exchange that lets you get Bitcoins at only a 6% premium and with a credit card. How does it work? You purchase items for other Purse.io members from their Amazon wish lists. In return, you get Bitcoins in the amount of the Amazon purchase. The more people participate, the more Bitcoins will be available. So tell your friends. Get exclusive access today at Purse.io.